Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So about a month ago, I made a video talking about why Warren Buffett sold off his airline stocks. And yesterday, May 2nd, which was also my birthday, was the annual Berkshire Hathaway shareholders meeting. And in this meeting, Warren Buffett disclosed that he sold off all of his airline stocks. So he is not invested in any US airlines anymore. And he explains all of the reasoning why he sold them. So in this video, I just want to clear up everything and tell you all exactly why he sold. But before we get into why he sold, I want to show you guys why he first bought into the airline companies and show you kind of what his thinking was. And then the second thing we're going to talk about is why he sold. And then the third thing that I want to cover in this video is the other potential companies that are going to be affected from everything going on. So with all that being said, let me just show you guys what Warren Buffett had to say about everything going on in the airline industries right now.
You'll see in the month of April that we net sold $6 billion or so of securities, and that's basically, that isn't because we thought the stock market was going to go down or anything of the sort, or because somebody changes their target price or they change this year's earnings forecast. I just decided that I'd made a mistake evaluating. It was an understandable mistake. It was a probability-weighted decision when we bought that we were getting an attractive amount for our money when investing across the airlines business. So we bought roughly 10% of the four largest airlines, and we probably paid $7 or $8 billion, somewhere between $7 and $8 billion, to own 10% of the four large companies in the airline business. And we felt for that we were getting $1 billion roughly of earnings. Now we weren't getting $1 billion of dividends, but we felt our share of the underlying earnings was $1 billion, and we felt that that number was more likely to go up than down over a period of time. It would be cyclical, obviously. We treat it mentally exactly as if we were buying a business.
Okay, so there's four main points in this first section that I want to talk about. So the first point is that Warren Buffett did not sell because of the overall market or because someone changed their target price. Warren Buffett doesn't care about what's going on in the market or what any one analyst thinks about one company. Warren Buffett will only sell a position if he thinks the overall fundamentals of the company have changed. The second point that I have here is that Warren paid $7 to $8 billion for about $1 billion in earnings, and he thought that these earnings were going to continue going up. This leaves Warren's price to earnings ratio between 7 and 8 because he did pay 7 to 8 billion to get 1 billion back in earnings. And also keep in mind that he did this with the expectation that these earnings were going to keep increasing. And the final point here is that Warren treated it mentally as if he were buying a whole business. So this is kind of confusing because Warren bought 4 different airlines, but when he talks, it's very clear that he's looking at this as if he just bought one whole airline business. It doesn't really seem like he differentiated between Delta, Southwest Airlines, United Airlines, and whatever. I think that he was more or less looking at it as he just wanted to buy as much of a position into the United States airline business as he possibly could. So Warren was essentially just bullish on the whole entire airline industry in the US, and he thought that he was getting a pretty good deal buying at a price to earnings ratio between 7 and 8. So now let's go back to the video and hear more on why he sold his positions.
An airline, but I particularly don't enjoy him being in a period like this where essentially nobody, and people have been told basically not to fly. I've been told not to fly for a while. I'm looking forward to flying. The airline business, and I may be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, but changed in a very major way, and it's obviously changed in the fact that their 4 companies are each going to borrow an average of at least 10 or 12 billion each. Well, you have to pay that back out of earnings over some period of time. I mean, you're 10 or 12 billion dollars worse off if that happens. And of course, in some cases, they're having to sell stock or sell the right to buy a stock at these prices, and that takes away from the upside down. And I don't know whether 2 or 3 years from now that as many people will fly as many passenger miles as they did last year. They may and they may not. But the future is much less clear to me how the business will turn out through absolutely no fault of the airlines themselves. But something that was a low probability event happened, and it happened to hurt particularly the travel business, the hotel business, cruise business, the theme park business, but the airline business in particular. And of course, the airline business has the problem that if the business comes back 70% or 80%, the aircraft don't disappear. So you've got too many planes, and it didn't look that way when the orders were placed a few months ago, or when arrangements were made. But the world changed for airlines, and I wish them well. But if we owned all of an airline now, it would be a tough decision to decide whether to sustain billions of dollars in operating losses when you know, A, you don't know how long it's going to happen or occur, and secondly, you know that it's very likely that there'll be too many planes around, and we know what happens in airline pricing when load factors go down and there's an oversupply of airline seats. So we didn't have to make that decision in terms of our own operation on it, but we did make a decision that's a very tough management decision to make.
Okay, so I have some more key points here on why Warren Buffett decided to sell his airline positions. So the first point here is people like Warren Buffett have been told not to fly for a while. So obviously this changed the future outlook of the whole airline industry. The third point here is he thinks airlines are going to have to take on $10 to $12 billion in debt each. So let's scroll back up, because up here we determined that the price to earnings ratio of his whole entire airline position was 7 to 8, and he was expecting about $1 billion in earnings throughout his entire airline position. So when you take this $1 billion in earnings that Warren Buffett was expecting, and now each of these airlines are going to have to take on $10 to $12 billion in debt, and they will have to use earnings to pay off this debt. So when you have 4 airlines each taking on at least $10 billion in debt, that's an extra $40 billion in debt across your entire airline position. Now, what I do have to say is that Warren Buffett only owned about 10% of each airline, so his portion of this debt would be about $4 billion. But even still, when we take that into account, that's an extra 4 years of earnings that now have to go towards debt, since Warren is expecting to earn about $1 billion in earnings off his total position. So when you're looking at this as if you bought an entire business, that's an extra 4 years that Warren now has to wait to actually get a return on his investment. The next point here is airlines are also having to sell stock to raise money, which is dilution. This hurts your upside potential because more shares equals less earnings per share. Now, I don't want to get too much into dilution in this video, but just know that these airlines are going to have to dilute their current shareholders to raise money to continue funding these businesses. Now, one thing I also want to point out is that Delta's market capitalization is currently $15.3 billion. So if Delta has to take on $10 to $12 billion of debt, that's like 60 to 70% of the company's current market capitalization just in debt. So that is a lot of debt that this company is going to have to take on in the next little bit here to continue operating this business. So there's just a lot of things that have changed in the airline industry that Warren Buffett didn't really see going into it when he first purchased. The next point I have here is he doesn't know if people are going to fly as often after all of this is said and done, and he's not sure of how the future will turn out. So essentially what I'm trying to say here is that when Warren Buffett initially invested into the airlines, he was expecting those earnings to continue increasing year after year as more and more people continue flying. Now, however, he's saying he's not even sure how many people are going to be flying after this whole global situation is done and over. So where he was once expecting an increase in earnings on his position, he is now expecting a decrease in earnings after everything is all said and done. This next point here is something that I actually didn't even think about, and this again is why I respect Warren Buffett so much, is because he understands businesses so well. So he says if the airlines come back 70 to 80%, the aircrafts don't just disappear. This means that the companies are going to have aircraft sitting there not producing revenue that they are still going to have to pay for. Now, one thing I want to point out here is Delta's actual fleet and how much of the fleet they actually own. So we can see that there are 3 different sections to this whole table. The first section is their active fleet, the second section is their temporarily parked fleet, and the third section is their commitments, which we will be getting into in a minute. So when we're looking at this table, we can see that we have owned, finance lease, and operating lease. So we can see down at the bottom here that in Delta's active fleet, they own 409 aircraft, they are finance leasing 44, and they are operating leasing 96. In their temporarily parked fleet, they have 274 aircraft owned, 14 finance leased aircraft, and 37 operating leased aircraft. So Delta is actually financing a lot of their fleet right now, and I couldn't find the specifics on these financing contracts, so I don't know how long these financings are going to last, or if Delta can actually just get rid of these aircrafts anytime. But regardless, what I'm trying to point out here is that Delta doesn't actually own all of their aircraft, so if their operations do drop to 70 to 80% after everything is all said and done, it looks like they do have some disposable aircraft that they are financing that they could maybe just get rid of that might not hinder their balance sheets or anything like that anymore. So this is just something to take into consideration because Delta might not have to actually sell off some of the aircraft that they own. They might be able to just get rid of some of their financed aircraft. Now, one thing that is kind of concerning to me, and I'm just using Delta as an example because I've been covering Delta on my channel quite a bit, but this is kind of like across the entire airline industry. So what we're seeing here is Delta's purchase commitments of aircraft. So we can see in the 9 months ending December 31st, they have $2.5 billion in aircraft that they already have committed to purchasing. In 2021, we can see it's 4.5 billion, 2022, 3 billion, 2023, 1.8 billion, 2024, 1 billion, and then thereafter is 1.7 billion. This leaves Delta with total commitments of $14.7 billion. So this is kind of an issue because if air travel starts to die down even after the whole global situation is over, they still have $14.7 billion that they have committed to purchasing new aircraft. So if air travel starts to slow down, then this aircraft that they've already committed to, they might not ever actually end up needing. So this is kind of a concern and kind of an unknown after the fact once everything starts opening up again. There's just a lot of uncertainty right now, so this is just kind of like an added risk. And if we move on to the next point here, Warren Buffett confirmed that he sold off all of his positions. He doesn't own any airlines at all anymore. He also went on to say he thinks airlines are going to have billions of dollars in operating losses, and he's not sure when these losses are actually going to stop. So again, the future outlook of his investment has completely changed. The final point here is he also says there could be an oversupply of airline seats, which will cause massive competition in the industry, which means fares may drop, which also means I didn't write it here, but the margins are most likely going to drop. So I have another screenshot here of Delta, and the first one here is the trailing 12 months. So this trailing 12 months includes Delta's first quarter 2020 financial results. And this number right here is their 2019 results. So we can see that their revenue in the last quarter looks like it has decreased by about $2 billion, and their operating margin has decreased by about 2.6%. So what Warren Buffett was saying was essentially that airlines are going to have to drop the prices of their seats since there's going to be more competition and battling of different airlines trying to get passengers on their planes. This price competition to try and get more passengers on their planes is going to result in this drop in operating margin, which Delta is already seeing. So now let's go back to the video and see what Warren Buffett has to say about all of these different things affecting other companies such as Boeing.
We're going to have aircraft in this country. We're going to be flying. But the real question is whether you need a lot of new planes or not, and when you're likely to need them, and it affects a lot of people. It certainly affects Precision Cast Parts. It affects General Electric. It obviously affects Boeing, it is a blow to essentially have your demand dry up, and it goes up in the chain, and the aircraft manufacturers didn't bring it on themselves. The airlines didn't bring it on themselves. Precision Cast Parts didn't bring it on itself. General Electric didn't. It's basically that we shut off air travel in this country, and what that does to people's habits, how they behave in the future, it's just hard to evaluate. I don't know the answer. And we do know that it will have an effect on Precision Cast Parts, and how severe it will be, it depends on the same sort of variables that are hitting Boeing and you name the company in aircrafts, and aircraft's a big business.
Okay, so the final point that I want to make is since there could be a dramatic drop in air travel, airlines may not need to purchase any more aircraft for quite some time. This means that companies that make and sell aircraft, such as Boeing, are going to have a period where they could see almost no orders for their aircrafts. And this is essentially what Warren Buffett just said, because if there's an oversupply of aircraft and these companies aren't even using all of the aircraft they already own, then why would they have any reason or incentive to go and buy new aircraft from Boeing? So this is another unknown in the aerospace industry, is like, what are these aircraft producers such as Boeing going to look like after this whole situation is over? It really just depends on how many people are flying and how much of their aircraft these companies are going to be using. So the final thing that I want to read to you guys comes directly from Delta's most recent financial reporting. And this says, we have a significant amount of existing fixed obligations, including aircraft lease and debt financings, leases of airport property and other facilities, and other material cash obligations. In response to the travel restrictions imposed as a result of the global situation, decreased demand and other effects of the outbreak of the global situation has had and is expected to have on our business, we have incurred and continue to seek significant amounts amounts of additional liquidity in the short term through the issuance of additional debt securities, as well as through bilateral and syndicated secured and or unsecured credit facilities. In addition, we have substantial non-cancelable commitments for capital expenditures, including for the acquisition of new aircraft and related spare engines. And this right here is what I was trying to point out earlier on in the video, where they say they have substantial non-cancelable commitments for capital expenditures, including for the acquisition of new aircraft and related spare engines. And this is that $14.7 billion that Delta has already committed to buying new aircraft. So we're going to end up seeing if they actually need this new aircraft in the long term, or really what's going to happen. But right now, this is another major unknown. So that's pretty much going to wrap up the video. But what do you guys think about Warren Buffett selling off all of his airline positions? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. Also, I've been getting asked a lot about my own position in Air Canada and if I plan on selling it after this new information just came out. And my answer is that tomorrow Air Canada is releasing their financial results, so I want to go through their financial results and just see what's going on with the business as of everything going on lately. But overall, as it stands right now, I'm not going to be selling just because Warren Buffett sold, because Air Canada has a lot of things that are fundamentally different from the US airlines. The US airlines are very highly leveraged, and Air Canada is in a lot better position on their balance sheet. So I don't think that they're going to have to take on nearly as much debt, and the Canadian government has helped subsidize their employee expenses. But that's pretty much my thoughts right now, and if you guys want, I can make an Air Canada video after I review their financial statements, just to update everyone on what I'm doing with my position. But that's pretty much going to be everything, and if you guys enjoyed this video or you found it helpful, then please remember to just leave a like on it. It really helps out my channel, and I really appreciate it. And if this is your first time here and you want to stick around and see more content, then please consider subscribing, because that would also be pretty awesome. But with all that being said, thank you guys again so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in my next one.